Hello, you're watching HW News. This is me, Anusha. Let's have a quick look at the headlines today. India on Friday said that the country's national position was and remains that matters related to Kashmir are entirely an internal matter after a rare closed-door meeting at the United Nations Security Council to discuss India's move to end the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. This meeting was called after Pakistan and its ally China requested a closed-door meeting on this matter. Syed Akbarruddin, India's ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations, said that the government is committed to gradually removing all the restrictions in Kashmir and the government is undertaking steps towards normalcy. Now, taking a swipe at Pakistan, Akbarruddin said that Islamabad should stop terror and start talks. He further said that Pakistan was trying to project an alarmist approach to the situation which is far from ground reality.
And inconsistent with our previous position that all issues between India and Pakistan, as well as India and any other country, will be resolved bilaterally, peacefully, and in a manner that behoves normal interstate relations between countries. We are saddened that terrorism is being fueled, language and incendiary talk of jihad is being mentioned by people who should know better. All of you are understanding of the situation here. I do not need to tell you what was the outcome of the close consultations. You will yourself know about it. We stand ready to continue our efforts towards peaceful resolution of all issues in an atmosphere free of terror and violence.
Now, moving on, Syed Akbarruddin, India's ambassador to the United Nations, said that he had also made a symbolic gesture of extending the hand of friendship to Pakistani journalists during the press meet post the UNSC closed-door meet, where India had said that the country's national position was and remains the matter related to Kashmir are entirely an internal matter.
When will you begin a dialogue with Pakistan?
So let me begin by coming across to you and shaking your hand. Yes, all three of you. So let me tell you, we've already extended our hand of friendship by saying we are committed to similar agreement. Let us wait for a response on that from the Pakistani side. Now I go to you. Yes, ma'am.
Now, more than 50,000 landline phones have been made operational today after services in 17 telephone exchanges of the Kashmir Valley were restored on the 13th day of the lockdown. Schools and colleges in Kashmir will reopen area-wise next week as authorities hope to gradually bring back normalcy in Jammu and Kashmir after a 2-week lockdown. Now, telephone line services including mobile phones and landlines were suspended in the early hours of August 5th when the centre abrogated the provision of Article 370 that gave a special status to Jammu and Kashmir. Also, according to the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Secretary, he said that the preventive detention are being continuously reviewed and appropriate decision will be made based on law and order.
I am not getting into that right now. We are actually talking about the restrictions that have been placed and the gradual unrolling of those restrictions. As things come back to normalcy, all of you will have a better assessment. What you are telling me is anecdotal in nature, so whatever one is hearing is anecdotal. When things come back to full normalcy, one will have a better idea. 1 second. Yep, go ahead. I have named certain organizations. Our primary responsibility is to ensure that there is no loss of life. Most of you have seen the events of 2008, 10 and 16. What happened then and what has happened now. There has been not a single loss of life, and it is to the credit of the people of the state and the government and the security forces that they have managed to get over the situation very quietly with utmost calm and no loss of civilian life. What is being propagated from across the border is apparent to all, and there is certainly an attempt to ensure that peace and calm in the state are disturbed. The people of the state have been the biggest victims of all this, and my statement actually says everything. Since you asked me about telephone lines, you will see a gradual restoration from tonight and tomorrow onwards. You will find a lot of Srinagar functioning tomorrow morning. BSNL takes a couple of hours to get back to action. Exchange by exchange, they will be switching it on. Over the weekend, you will have most of these lines functional. I'll stop it.
The Rajasthan government on a Friday appointed a special investigation team to probe the Pelu Khan lynching case and examine the previous investigation to find the lapses, if any, which had led to the acquittal of the 6 accused by a sessions court in Alwar earlier this week. According to the officials, the SIT will examine and investigate from all angles and fix responsibility for the prosecution's failure to produce clinking evidence to the court while examining whether there were attempts at tampering with the evidence or weakening the case.
देखिए, जब हम लोग कानून बनाने वाला राजस्थान मणिपुर के बाद में दूसरा राज्य है, अगर मॉब लिंचिंग को लेकर कानून बना सकते हैं हम लोग, आप समझ सकते हैं कि सरकार की स्पष्ट मंशा है किसी भी प्रकार की मॉब लिंचिंग नहीं होनी चाहिए। अगर 2 या 2 से अधिक लोग मिलकर किसी को मारने लग जाए, एक व्यक्ति की जान चली जाए, इससे बड़ा निंदनीय काम क्या हो सकता है। सरकार ने सोच समझ करके इस कानून को पास करवाया है, जल्दी वो लागू हो जाएगा और पहलू खां वाले मामले में भी सरकार ने निर्णय किया है कि इसका हम अपील करेंगे।
Also do watch the exclusive editorial by our managing editor Mr. Sujit Nair. Now, meanwhile, BSE chief Mayawati had also slammed the Rajasthan government over the Pelu Khan case. She said that due to the gross negligence and the inaction of Rajasthan Congress government, all 6 accused in the Khan mob lynching case were acquitted from the lower court there. This is unfortunate, she added. Now moving on, we are open for business but we are not for sale, said the Greenland foreign minister. This comes after Greenland dismissed the notion that it might be up for sale after reports that the US President Donald Trump had privately discussed with his advisor the idea of buying the world's biggest island. Greenland, a self-ruling part of Denmark located between the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans, is dependent on Danish economic support. It handles its own domestic affairs while Copenhagen looks after the defense and foreign policy. Also recently, Greenland is gaining a lot of attention from the global superpowers including China, Russia and the United States due to its strategic location and its mineral resources. And for more news updates, log on to www.hwnews.in.